Hi everyone, I'm wearing my shirt today. You should definitely follow it. I'm very trustworthy. I wanted to just mention a couple of things. So we just finished utilitarianism. We did 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks of it. And this is the way it'll generally go for most of the semester. We'll do a week of content, and then we'll do a week where we try to apply the content to various problems. This week we did vaccinations. Now I generally just pull these out of the news. I don't have any larger plan. The trick is for you to see how ethics can be applied to everyday things that happen all the time. There's a couple little hiccups. So a fair amount of you had trouble. What happened was that you got too focused in on your own opinions and didn't give me Mill's view of vaccinations. So I'm more than happy for you to give your opinion. In fact, I wish you would give your opinions. But you must also answer the question. And sometimes it's a little bit hard. Let's say you want to say that Mill was wrong. That's fine, totally fine. Many times I think Mill is wrong. But first, you have to answer the question as if Mill was right. Part of the trick of philosophy, one of the reasons it's so difficult to do, is you kind of have to take on another persona. You get to not be yourself for a minute. If you happen to agree with the philosopher, it's easy. But as you'll see as we go forward, you won't always agree. So after you apply the philosopher to the problem, please feel free to say whatever you like as long as you have some kind of justification for it. That's great. And so this coming week, we're going to be doing Kant and deontology. Now, Kant is a little bit harder to read even than Mill. Reading philosophy is a specialized skill, but it's a skill that pays big dividends. Anytime in the future, if you work really hard in philosophy, if you really struggle and learn how to read it properly, any type of reading for the rest of your life will be a breeze. You'll get a new direction from a boss. You'll decide to take on a new career. You'll decide to go back to school. You'll decide almost anything. They'll hand you a text. You can just read it. Almost anything. You really do build up a certain skill in philosophy that it's very hard to get anywhere else. A good example of this is LSATs. The LSAT is the exam you take to get into law school. It turns out the philosophy majors score the highest on the LSATs of any major. They also score very high on the GRE, another exam to get into grad schools. And the reason this is because of the way philosophy messes with your brain. It makes you think in a certain extremely, ultra, radically critical way. So that's what we're starting to do. We did a little bit with Mill. We're going to do it a little bit more with Kant. So the first week, make sure you look at the reading prezi. And also go through the introductory prezi that will look at Kant's work. The following week, we'll have you read out of the blue reader, which you can get at the bookstore if you haven't gotten it yet, and apply. And so we'll tend to follow this model. And so, as always, if you have any questions, text me. Many of you have already done that. That's great. I usually reply pretty quickly. And if you have a longer, more difficult problem, you can always email me. We can set up Skype, Google Chat, whatever. All right, I'll see you next week.